How's it going there, everybody? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new Nanatsu no Taizai chapter discussion. And for today's anime, guys, we're going to be talking about is chapter 235, folks. Oh, yes, we are finally moving on to another arc, or I would say not an arc, but another subplot in the Nanatsu no Taizai universe. And it's always interesting because you would think that Nakaba Sensei has something that he probably might have run out of, but no, Nakaba Sensei actually is intriguing me every single time with each and every chapter because, wow, he actually is able to pull out characters from the sidelines and actually put them in, incorporate in the story in very precise moments that actually made me think like, okay, wow, I never even thought of this certain character being around in this specific timeline because the fact, like I wouldn't think that they would have been introduced in this kind of story. And that is to say, folks, the reason that I'm saying it in this specific manner is because I'm kind of trying to give a little bit of suspense, but that is Meliodas and Zeldaris, actual former masters of the Ten Commandments. Yes, folks. One of them is called Cusack. Seems like looks like a very Spanish-looking character. A very big mustache. I'm not too sure if that's the demon clan's powers, if it's emitting off his mustache or if that's really just his own mustache. But he's got long hair. He's kind of got a very good figure and everything. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, strong character, but that makes sense for what it would be Zelda's actual master, because the way you see this character, you kind of see that like, wow, what the heck? I wonder just how strong is this character that they were actually able to teach Zelda's or Meliodas. And then we got you can say we got Meliodas' master, which his name is Chandler, which by the way, Cusack and Chandler just sounds like a WWE kind of wrestling thing kind of going there. Coming to the stage is Cusack and Chandler. Let's give a warm shout out. And I personally just love the fact like the way they were kind of introduced was just very, it was very I wouldn't say, how do I say this, they were introduced very slowly, but in a sense that it made sense as to why they're kind of coming out, because all the Ten Commandments are basically just done with, and Zeldris is literally off to fend for herself. And we also get to learn in this actual chapter that Esterosa is still technically alive, but in a sense that he's still in a coma, which is very interesting because that means that we're gonna get a round 2 with Escanor. So holy folks, holy hell, folks! Like I can't wait to see the part 2 of that fight. But needless to say, it's gonna be a little bit delayed, more for the fact that we're gonna get the subplot, which is basically Cusack and Chandler facing off against the 7 deadly sins, because Cusack and Chandler are actually, their mission now is to actually defeat the 7 deadly sins and actually bring Meliodas back to the 10 commandments in order for the demon kings, in order for him to actually resurrect himself in Meliodas' body, which is very interesting because you're kind of thinking like, okay, Meliodas is now becoming a central figure, and it seems that he's going to become more of like, how do I say, an antagonist of some sorts as the arcs actually coming more about, which is very interesting because we never really seen the 7 deadly sins against Meliodas, well, except Escanor, but in the sense that will be able to span over an entire arc. Maybe that's what Nakaba Sensei is actually trying to go for, which, by the way, by all means, go for it. I would love to see a shonen protagonist turn evil and have their friends and everything try to bring that friend back to the right side, which Naruto kind of did, but it kind of spanned for millions and millions of years. But that's a different story to talk about. But needless to say, 7 deadly sins, loving the way it's going, and loving the way that they were doing the world setting in itself, that you kind of see that Camelot is being the central figure of this specific little mini arc that we're getting into. And it's also funny too at the same time, guys, is because we get to see all the other 10 commandments of what they're doing. Of course, Galan is still petrified. Frogen is actually technically dead. I believe it was Grey Lord. Grey Lord is still trapped in the little capsule, and so was Meliscula. And also, who else am I missing? Oh, Delore and Gloxinia. We gotta talk about these guys. Oh my god. You know why we gotta talk about these guys? Because I personally did not expect them to do what they did in this specific chapter, and that is they kind of hindered themselves away from the 10 commandments. And it's very interesting because you would think that they would have actually gone to Zeldris himself and said, you know what, probably gave the finger to Zeldris and said, we want to run away and fight for the humans themselves. Instead, Gloxini and Delore just really just up and told Zelders and said, you know what, we want to leave. It's like as if they were like in a membership club. You know, we just want to cancel our membership. You know, I'm sorry for everything. It was great being with you guys, but I'm sorry we got to part ways. Have a nice day. But it felt very kind of very nonchalant the way they kind of were doing that kind of little thing. And you would think they were going to get some repercussions after leaving the Ten Commandments, but no, they were technically just left at the side, which goes on to say that that means that Gloxini and Delore really aren't going to be any a nuisance to Zelders when in reality, to me, it looks like Zelders could really just one-shot them if that's how strong Zeldris really is. Which, by the way, my God, my freaking God, which I thought was very hilarious, is the fact that Gloxini and Delore, you know, the chemistry that these guys have, it's very comedic, but at the same time, it's like it blends well with them. You know, they're like old war buddies, and the way they're able to tell each other everything is very cheeky, but at the same time, you're like thinking like, okay, you know what, I can go with it. I can go with it. Nakaba Sensei actually tried to use him as comic relief in this specific chapter. It was pretty good. Not gonna lie to you. But yeah, you know what else? Oh yeah, Derriere and Montspiet. We can't forget about these guys, because of the fact that woo, they're living a normal life. They ran away, but it's interesting more the fact that you know that these characters they're not gonna be involved in the war in itself. They kind of want to just stay away from the fighting itself and want to live their own life. Maybe they just want to live a happy life because they don't feel pressure to actually be trying to kill themselves for no apparent reason anymore. They know this is a war that then not necessarily they can't win. It's more or less it's just a feud that's just been going on. They're like, you know what, forget it. You know, we're gonna do our own thing. We'll be happier that way instead of just staying angry for countless and countless and countless of eons. Which, by the way, that would make sense why they would kind of leave too at the same time. But yeah, 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 yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting how the Nakaba is going. Speaking of which, I do want to talk about a little bit more about is Chandler. Chandler seems like he really seems like a mage of some sorts. So it kind of goes with the theme of what Meliodas was, how he kind of has this full counter magic against, you could say, magic. But with Chandler, I'm just wondering, did what kind of is like does his abilities actually make him able to lend powers to other people? I mean, the way he's kind of set himself, it seems like he's got like astrological. Like to me, it seems like he's like an astrological kind of person. Like the way he's set up, he's got the like a giant sage cane. You know, you're thinking like, oh, maybe this guy's got control of the elements themselves, maybe more than one element. You know, you gotta think of like freaking RuneScape of some sorts, or freaking League of Legends. You know, like video game esque, you know. But that's what I kind of see Chandler in a sense, which is very hilarious too, because you're kind of looking at this character like this guy's the one that trained Meliodas. He's kind of a little pudgy on the side, so you're kind of wondering like, yeah, there's definitely no way he trained Meliodas in terms of brute force and strength, you know. Yeah, nah, but no jokes aside though, but you know, you're kind of looking at this character like, huh, I wonder what this character has in store for Meliodas and Cusack too. These two characters, I know I'm coming back to them, but it's just the fact that, you know, I'm just wondering like how they're gonna be playing more into the story itself and how long these guys characters gonna last. You know, maybe these guys are gonna be also one shotted on the side too with Meliodas, maybe just you know with a giant strain of range to take these guys out. But just hypothesizing, you know, a lot of things happen to these characters. But like I said, I'm loving the way that Nakaba Sensei introduced these characters. I'm loving the way that you know these characters are going to be going about with the story because it actually makes the arc a little bit longer than what it really needs to be. You know, you're kind of looking at it like, huh? You would think that it was going to be a linear story, but no, now it's like linear, but it's taking a little detour. Like, okay, now we're going to do a little subplot, and then maybe another mini subplot, and a mini subplot, and a mini subplot. So it's like Nakaba Sensei is keeping the readers very entertained, and that's the thing that I like about that. Good job, Nakaba Sensei. But let me know down in the comments below, guys, to what are you guys' thoughts on the latest chapter itself. Chapter 235, folks. I thought this chapter was actually pretty well. It's more like, it also felt like a recap so to see where all the Ten Commandments are kind of going in actual playing field and seeing what Zeldris is going to be accomplishing in terms of what's going to be happening in the future story. Very interesting. But let me know your thoughts down, guys, on what the former masters and what do you guys think their abilities are actually being capable. Like I said, Cusack might seem like a swordsman, and Chandler, he seems like a mage of some sorts. Interesting. But like I said, let me know down in the comments. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Nanatsu no Taizai chapter discussions. And as always, I will see you guys again in the next video.